I'm ready. I'm ready, 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 ready. Tits up. If you've never seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel before, that quote probably sounds a little weird out of context. And all I have to say to that is I do not apologize. Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing amazing today. I am amazing because we're going to be talking about one of my favorite shows at the moment by one of my favorite screenwriters and directors, and that is The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, obviously created by the genius and extremely wonderful and marvelous Amy Sherman-Palladino. If you have been on my channel for a while, you know that I'm basically obsessed with Amy Sherman-Palladino in general and everything she's created, from Bunheads to Gilmore Girls to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I'm super excited to be talking about this today. And I am all dolled up in a very Midge appropriate outfit, I feel like. I want her whole closet, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I would wear her massive hats down the road. But yes, today we're going to be talking about why Amy Sherman-Palladino's Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is so marvelous. The first reason, obviously, is one that is super important, and not just The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Say that 5 times fast. I'm even having trouble saying it once. But it's important not just in Maisel, but also in everything you will ever see on the screen, and that is screenwriting. The dialogue and the screenwriting is so intentional and just so Amy Sherman-Palladino, or ASP for short, not ass. ASP. ASP. That doesn't make it any better. I'm sorry. If you know Amy Sherman-Palladino from her past works like Gilmore Girls, you know that she has a very authentic, very unique and theatrical type of dialogue, as you see in Gilmore Girls. With Gilmore Girls, it became this thing where they were the show where they talked fast, and it just became a thing that's what you do on an Amy Sherman-Palladino show, and it's the same in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, except it's completely different because it's completely different characters with a completely different background and culture, and it's set in the 1950s, 1960s, so obviously all of the dialogue and all of the references are just like amazing and chef's kiss. Mwah. I've said this before and I'll say it again because I love this quote. You can have a good script and make a bad movie, but you cannot have a bad script and make a good movie. With these scripts, I think I've read like a few pages of the first pilot of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I could really tell just without even like reading the script that Amy Sherman-Palladino and her husband Daniel Palladino are so in control of the script and so in control of what goes on in that episode or those episodes or in the show in general. Because they have so much control over these scripts, there's definitely direction written into the scripts because they are the directors and creators and executive producers. They basically just, it's amazing. It's their show, and that's why it's so amazing. I have said it before that I really enjoy movies and TV shows where the screenwriter is the director or vice versa because of that, because of the fact that the writer has so much more insight into the story than another person outside of them will have. And so I have experienced this as well, writing some of my scripts where I'm writing and I can visually see the scene, and I know that that is what the Palladino family does when they write this show, because it's just so visual and so intentional and theatrical, and it's just beautiful and marvelous. I'm going to be using that word a lot. Get ready, tits up. The next thing that makes this show so incredibly marvelous is the directing, obviously. One thing about Amy Sherman-Palladino that I love that's separate from her writing is the way that she directs. She has a very unique way of directing, and again, it's very theatrical and very play-like. And it's almost as if she's brought Broadway to the screen, and especially in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because it's set in an older era. Everything is made to just complement the scene, and again, she's even intentional in her directing style as well. One of the things that I really like about her and her writing and her directing is that there seems to be this kind of like rhythm and kind of song when it comes to anything that she does. The camera is always moving, especially in Maisel. There are very few times that people aren't just like running around and like the camera isn't swooping around someone and there's not a tracking shot, and it makes you appreciate the still moments even more. But it's just so fun to watch. It's really like you're being taken on a ride, and I really enjoy that when I'm watching something because it keeps my mind alive and interested, and it's again just very theatrical and beautiful. One of my favorite scenes from this show is the opening scene in season 2, where we go on this little tracking shot of the department store that Midge is working at, and it's dubbed by Just Leave Everything to Me, which is a Barbra Streisand song that's amazing, and from Hello Dolly, like, it's already gonna be spectacular with that song because I have no words to describe that song. If you want your daughter dated or some marriage consummated, just leave everything to me. But this has been such an inspiration to me in something that I'm writing currently, and I just really, really love how the camera does not stop for like the first 3-4 minutes or however long that opening sequence is. And Amy Sherman-Palladino herself has said that if she could find a way to never stop the camera from moving, she would find a way to do it. And something else that I heard her say as well is that even when Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Maisel, when she's walking and there requires like a turnaround scene where she just like spins around and the camera kind of captures her glaring and glimpsing at everything, Amy Sherman-Palladino a lot of the times would tell her to turn left instead of turn right because it's more theatrical and more Broadway and cinematic, and it's just those little things and those little things in her direction that just make this show marvelous. Obviously, there's a lot of setbacks because of this, because of the fact that she has such a unique and specific way of directing, and because most of the scenes are one takes. It requires a lot more work from the camera crew and from the cinematographer, which a lot of the times can be a little bit annoying, but in this case, it worked out. Mwah, and it's totally worth it. The next thing that makes this show so marvelous is obviously the costume design and the set design, but mostly the costume design. The costume designer for this show is Donna Zakowska, and I think she may have won an award for these costumes. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody might want to fact check me on that because I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that if she did not win an award, that she should have, because the way that she brings these characters to life with these costumes is just amazing. It's all set, during the late 50s, 60s era, and so you would think like, oh, everybody's gonna be kind of dressed the same, and like, that's not the case with this show. Everybody has a distinct wardrobe, and I think that's so amazing when the wardrobe in a TV show or a movie is personalized to that of the character's characteristics, because I feel like that's how it is in real life. Like, people just dress the way that they feel comfortable and the way that expresses themselves. The costumes just definitely add to the vibrancy and the authentic feel of the show. One of the things that I've heard Daniel Palladino say is that they really wanted Midge to feel like your best friend and not somebody that was like your grandma from the 50s and 60s, which nothing wrong with that either, because grandmas are cool. But I really relate to that, and I really feel that as well. When I watch this show, it's just, I feel like I'm a part of that time when I watch it, and that's definitely because of the set design, obviously, and the way that they all speak so fast, and they're especially Midge is very progressive, but it's definitely those costumes as well. I just want them. Okay, what more can I ask? I don't ask for anything else. Actually, I do. I take it back. I also really love how now that we're getting into the 60s with season 5, this new season, the outfits are getting a little bit more extravagant and ridiculous, which just adds to the humor. Obviously, there are a lot of things about the 60s that I don't think we should bring back. Not all of them. Like, I do love the 60s, but like, there's just some things that we can leave behind. One of them being the ridiculous height of the hat. You may disagree with me, and that's totally fine, but I also think that adds to the humorization of this period and of the show, and I absolutely love it. And last, but definitely most importantly, not least, the actors and the casting is what makes this TV show so absolutely marvelous. Now let me tell you something, okay? Amy Sherman-Palladino, Asp, as we previously stated, knows how to cast a baby, okay? Okay, not a baby, not like an actual baby. I mean like a show, it's not a baby, okay? No babies were harmed in the making of this film. But she knows how to cast. I feel like in everything that I've seen her do and everything that I've seen her write and direct, that she's been in charge of casting. The characters, I can't see anybody else playing them. Like, I sometimes will watch a movie or watch a TV show and I'm like, yeah, they're pretty good, but like, I feel like this person would have been way better. But she knows how to cast, and I feel like Rachel Brosnahan and Alex Borstein specifically, who play obviously Susie and Midge, are some of my favorite characters that I've ever come to encounter. Especially Alex Borstein's character, Susie. Susie is like even though I technically do relate more to Midge, I feel like I want to be Susie more because she really just does not care and just says everything that I've ever wanted to say in my life. So that has definitely given me a profound love for Alex Borstein. I guess I can say that Amy Sherman-Palladino loves her as much as I do because she's casted Alex in, I think, every single one of her projects. So in Bunheads, she was Michelle's landlord and Carl's mother, and then in Gilmore Girls she was Drella, the aggressive harpist, which I feel like we needed more of that character. And she also played Miss Celine, which is one of my favorite Gilmore Girls characters. I don't know why Amy Sherman-Palladino's shows are so hard to pronounce like 5 times, except Bunheads. I can Bunheads. I can definitely say that. Props to me, congratulations, I'm a genius. Wrapped in plastic. But then she's obviously casted her in this show, and I can't see anybody else playing Susie. I love her to death. Both her character and her in real life. And then obviously Rachel Brosnahan is just, can we get a round of applause, people? Like, she can really spit out those sentences, can't she? And one of the things that I thought was really cool is that, not cool, but like interesting, is how in one of her interviews she was talking about how she could like never do stand-up because she's just not like genuinely that brave, I guess, or like it takes a lot to be a stand-up. But when I watch her in Maisel, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not Midge Maisel? One last thing that I would like to add is that Amy Sherman-Palladino basically took her father and everything that he was and turned it into a 1950s, 1960s, gorgeous, really funny housewife named Miriam Maisel. And I think that's actually hilarious, and I think that's why it works so well, is because it's based on a real person put into a skirt. So yeah, as you can tell, I do 100% love Amy Sherman-Palladino and Daniel Palladino and everything them. I will continue to say this for the rest of my life. They are what inspired me to want to screenwrite and to direct, and what really opened my eyes to the world of filmmaking. So I just thought it essential to make a video like this of me gushing over both of them, and especially Amy Sherman-Palladino because she's hilarious. And yes, Daniel, I love you as well. I'm just saying I love your wife a little bit more. But I do incredibly love the show. If you have not seen it yet, definitely go watch it right now after you like finish watching this video and liking it and subscribing and all that. But definitely go watch this. I know this show may not be for everyone, and that's okay if you don't like it, but I'm here to tell you that I do, and that's all that matters. Okay? Just kidding. It's really not all that matters, but we can pretend that it is. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I had so much fun making this and gushing over Amy Sherman-Palladino. If she ever watches this, hi, I love you. That's about it. I think that establishes my feelings about you. I love you. But I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up so I know to make more additional content like this. Don't forget to comment down below if you've seen the show and what your favorite season is, or who your favorite character is, or if you're gonna watch the show, or just say hi, because I will probably say hi back because I'm lonely and need someone to talk to, but we're not going to talk about that right now because this is not therapy. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification button down below so that YouTube can notify you every time that I upload a video. And I also leave all of my social media links in the description box below. So go ahead, follow me on there so we can chat, become the best of friends. And I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. I love you, hun. Come back and have some brunch in Minnesota. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I worked really long hours today and I'm just kind of delusional Minnesotan. Okay, that's probably like really offensive. I'm sorry. I'm not from Minnesota. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye. Alright guys, you have a wonderful day and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye. Minnesota.